Hello, my name is Fred Lindsley. I'd like to spend a few minutes with you today discussing contact synchronization. ImagineTime synchronizes with Outlook with regard to contacts. This capability also gives us the ability to push down our to popular PDA devices. On the screen in front of you is a contact folders setup. It's actually my folders. And you can see a mailbox here for Fred Lindsley. You can also see down below some public folders, and one of them is ImagineTime Contacts. You have the ability to synchronize to either a local folder in your own mailbox or to a public folder. Right now I'm going to see if I can synchronize to a public folder. So I'm going to open up the sync button on the calendar, click the contact tab, and the very first thing is to inform ImagineTime the logical location of the contact folder. Now, logical and physical are not the same thing here. Outlook uses a schema to identify within the profile the logical location of the contact folder. For example, here under the support mailbox, there's a folder called Contacts. Under Public folder, there's an ImagineTime Inc. If I can move this just a little bit, ImagineTime Inc. Contacts. So I'm going to find out that logical location. And the starting point would be to type in a few characters. You want to get the syntax correct with spaces in upper and lower case. I'm going to go that far, and then I'm going to click Display Folders and Location. Then I'm going to click on the double click on all public folders, and then I'll double click on contacts, and now I have the correct logical path. When I close, it's not necessary to do this, when I close and reopen, that's going to be saved. So at this point I'm ready to begin my first sync. From the bottom here, I want to choose Export to Microsoft Outlook Clients Only. That's all I'm attempting to do in this first sync. I want to send to Outlook all the clients that I've set up in ImagineTime. And you can see there's quite a few options here. Some of them sync all existing contacts and clients is what you would call the ongoing option. Once you've established your sync and made both databases populate both databases with the same records, then you want to continue on with the sync all. But for now, we're going to export to Microsoft Outlook. Some other options here are explained under these formats. People set up Outlook in ways that are different from the way that ImagineTime is set up. So this attempts to put the hooks through so that the first name and the last name and the billing name and the company name in the separate databases. These drop downs here are also used to assist in that alignment. Alright then, we've identified our logical folder. We've used our format options to align the two databases. Many times the defaults are just fine there. We've selected the export option. We're going to export to Microsoft Outlook Clients Only. Now we're ready to go. I'm going to click Begin. And it's sending this information to a temporary table, so nothing is permanent at this point. Here's my results table, and nothing's in it. I have to change my drop down to the correct export direction. I'm exporting ImagineTime Client Contacts, not in Outlook. Now I see quite a bit of information. So a couple of things I can do here, but first is to notice that these are rows of clients, and ImagineTime displays additional information in the footer of this table. You can see that it's identified a client type. Okay, let's see down here. Bruce Banner is an individual. I'm going to set up a filter to identify these as IT clients in Outlook. That'll help me in Outlook sort and categorize my contact information. Also, I have an option here to skip. If I click on this label, it'll skip them all. If I click it again, it'll unskip them. But if there's a few that I don't want to export, that's a way to avoid the export process for that particular client. Down here, I can use the office home address type for companies and individuals, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm also designating a biller. Now you notice that that comes through when I'm sending from ImagineTime to Outlook. At this point, let's just check one other thing. Okay, here's another way you can work an exception to the standard export format. Outlook File As Mapping. File As is the primary way that the file is sorted in Outlook, and you can map that individually to a specific client using full name, sort name, or contact person. Automatic is probably the best setting. That's explained in a little more detail in the help and also on the first screen. Just remember that if you don't like it, you can delete these contacts in Outlook and then start again. Same thing is true in ImagineTime going the other way. So for now, let's go ahead and send this information over to Outlook and see what we get. So it's exporting now, and as it exports, you actually begin to see the results build up in Outlook. Okay, so let's scroll down here. These are mostly companies. Let's take a look at a detailed record. Full name, File As, Aunt Betty Shellshack, and here's the address. There's no phone for this. Let's see if we can find one that's a little more complete. Here's one that has phone number, email information, quite a bit of contact data. So there are, I'd say, about 500 sample contacts in our demo database, and they're being exported now, and it just completed. And here they are in Outlook. So that gives you a little idea of how this exporting works. Now let's try and sync up a change. So over here, I'm going to close this temporary table now. I'm going to change my sync option to general syncing, just like that. Sync all existing client and contact information. Now I'm going to, let's change a record in Outlook. Crawl Charm School, what a strange name. But we'll change that to, let's change their address to 33876. Alright, so I've made that address change, and now I'm going to begin the synchronization process. Usually you'd have quite a few changes. Remember that ImagineTime batch syncs client, contact, address, phone, and email information. Whereas in the appointment sync and task sync, you have the option to active sync real time whenever a change is made. So in ImagineTime contact syncing, you're going to come in here and press a button to get this contact synchronization to take place properly. Our synchronization has completed. The temporary table doesn't apply in this case. Let's move over to our contact information for Crow. And down here on the bottom right, you can see that the zip code has been changed to conform to what was done in Outlook. That's some preliminary information on how the contact syncing works. More information can be found in the manual. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to contact our technical support department.